Hare Krishna, thank you for joining. And let's start with Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Gira Vardhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Gira Vardhari. Yashodanandan Vraj Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandan Vraj Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Gyanti Mridasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutle Samrupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Nitam Tam Sajivam Sadhutam Savadutam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakharmitam Scha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pran Mami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Trubhehascha Kirpa Sindhuve Vacha Patitana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo 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 Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Ti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Go Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hari Om Tassat. Narayam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Sasvit Vyasam Tato Jemaduriyat Nasta Preshabdrishu Nittam Bhagavad-Sevayā Bhagavati Uttarashtakte Bhakti Bhavati Naistaki. Okay, Hare Krishna. So we're doing Kunti Mata's prayers and they are packed with so many realizations, so much wisdom, so much knowledge. And we'll continue on. Let me see. Share that one. Okay. Here we go. So, what have we established so far? Let me have a quick look. We have said in 18, we said, or rather Kunti Mata said, that you are the Supreme Lord existing in within and without. And she says that you are invisible, covered by curtain of Maya, and you are known to Paramahansa, not to women like me, although she knows everything. And that was like about knowing the Lord, these three things. And then she says, I am fortunate. And she says that Devaki and Vasudev are fortunate. And in 22, she says, I am also fortunate to see your form and your lotus-like form. So now we're in 23, and she's still talking about, from 23 to 25, she's talking about how fortunate she is. So 23, 24, 25, she's talking about fortunate, and then in the 26 to 28, she talks about qualifications to see the Lord. So we'll just cover 26 hopefully today. So 23, being fortunate. Yatha Rishikesha Kalena Devki Kamsena Ruda Chitram Shucha Prita Vimochitam Cha Sahatmaj Vibo Tvaye Vanathena Mur Vibadganat. So Yatha, as it were, Rishikesha, the master of the senses, Kalena, by the envious, Devaki, the mother of Sri Krishna, Kamsena, by King Kamsa, Rudaha, imprisoned, Ati Chiram, for a long time, Shucha Arpita, distressed, Mochita, released, Ahamcha, also myself, Saha Atmaja, along with my children, Vibho, O Great One, Tvaya Eva, by your Lordship, Nathena, as the protector, Muhu, constantly, Vipat, Ganat, from a series of dangers. O Rishikesha, master of the senses and lord of lords, you have released your mother Devaki, who was long imprisoned and distressed by the envious king Kansa. And me and my children form a series of constant dangers. Now Devaki, the mother of Krishna and sister of King Kansa, or Kams, was put into prison along with her husband Vasudeva, because the envious king was afraid of being killed by Devaki's eighth son Krishna. He killed all the sons of Devaki who were born before Krishna, but Krishna escaped the danger of child slaughter because he was transferred to the house of Nand Maharaj, Lord Krishna's foster father. So Kunti Devi, along with the children, was also saved from a series of dangers. But Kunti Devi was shown far more favor because Lord Krishna did not save the other children of Devaki, whereas he saved the children of Kunti Devi. This was done because Devaki's husband Vasudeva was living, whereas Kunti Devi was a widow and there was none to help her except Krishna. The conclusion is that Krishna endows more favor to a devotee who is in great dangers. Sometimes he puts his pure devotee in such dangers because in that condition of helplessness, the devotee becomes more attached to the Lord. The more the attachment is there for the Lord, the more success is there for the devotee. So Kunti Mata saying that she very fortunate. He did not save children of Devaki, but he always saved her children. So she has that extra mercy from Lord Krishna. So just something, she says that we can measure our success by how much satisfaction we derive from any activity and the attachment to Krishna in difficulties. We are still attached to Krishna in times of trouble. So that is, our progress. If we are still thinking of Krishna in times of trouble, not that we give up. Many people give up when they have problems. They just give up, say, what's the point? There is no God, or God doesn't care. or he no longer exists because he's not protecting me, he's not there, he's not listening, and they stop worshipping God. In time of trouble, in the time of reversals in our life, we should become more attached to Krishna. Take his shelter more. That's our opportunity to get closer to him. Because our mind is not wandering off, we are focused and desperate. So we should use desperation as a leverage to get even closer to Krishna. If you're close, troubles come to everyone. This is the duality of this world. And when they come, use it to your advantage. Always use everything to your advantage. Use your weaknesses to be your strengths and your threats to be your opportunities. That is the way to make progress. Okay, so she's very fortunate, and then she says, let's try this. Vishan Mahagenha Purushada Darshanad Asal Sabhaya Van Vasa Krishritaha Mride Mride Neka Maharatha Astrato Doryanai Astras Chasam Hare Brikshitaha. Vishat from poison, Maha Agne from the great fire, Purusha other, the man-eaters, Darshanat by combating, Asat vicious, Sabha assembly, Vanvas exiled to the forest, Krichritaha sufferings, Mride Mride again and again in battle, Anek many, Maharath great generals, Asrataha weapons, Drauni the son of Dronacharya, Asrataha from the weapon of Cha and Asam indicating past tense, Hare of O my Lord, Abhirakshita protected completely. My dear Krishna, your Lordship has protected us from poison cake, from a great fire, from cannibals, from vicious assembly, from sufferings during our exile in the forest, and from the battle where great generals fought. And now you have saved us from the weapon of Ashwatthama. So Kunti Mata, she hasn't forgotten what they've been through, the suffering herself and her children, her daughter-in-law, they all had in their time. But she always sees that as mercy of Krishna, that he is always there for them in times of trouble. The list of dangers encounters is submitted herein. Devaki was once put into difficulty by her envious brother, otherwise she was well. But Kunti Devi and her sons were put into one difficulty after another for years and years together. They spent most of their life in difficulty. Right? They were put into trouble by Duryodhana and his party due to the kingdom, and each and every time the sons of Kunti were saved by the Lord. Once Bhima was administered poison in a cake, once they were put into the house made of shellac and set afire, and once Draupadi was dragged out, an attempt was made to insult her by stripping her naked in the vicious assembly of the Kurus. The Lord saved Draupadi by supplying an immeasurable length of cloth, and Duryodhana's party failed to see her naked. Similarly, when they were exiled in the forest, Bhima had to fight with the man-eater demon Hidimba Rakshas, but the Lord saved him. So it was not finished there. After all these tribulations, there was the great battle of Kurukshetra, and Arjun had to meet such great generals as Drona, Bhisham, Karan, all powerful fighters. And at last, even when everything was done away with, there was the Brahmastra released by the son of Dronacharya to kill the child within the womb of Uttara. And so the Lord saved the only surviving descendant of the Kurus, Maharaj Parikshit. So here's many things that is a reminder of what they went through. And like if Draupadi is saying, she's glorifying Krishna, then she has good reason to, because she has faith that it was Krishna who saved them from all these tribulations. So it's mentioned that although Krishna protects us, he's the protector, right? We are still in danger because this material existence is full of dangers. So, I mean, they had Krishna, Pandavas had Krishna with them. Kunti was the Bua of Krishna. They still had dangers. It's not that we become immune to dangers, that oh, dangers can't touch us. Dangers are always there. This is a dangerous place that we are in. This material existence is full of dangers. Padam padam yad vipadam. Best to take shelter of Krishna because there is always danger from all directions. So more reason to take shelter of Krishna because we should understand that there is danger from all directions. So Krishna's protection, personal intervention. Krishna lifted the veil to protect Arjuna in the battle of Kurukshetra. Bhima was poisoned by Duryodhana, but then in the lake, the poison was counteracted by the poison of the snakes. And the Vidur was inspired by Krishna to warn the Pandavas about the house of wax. Draupadi provided unlimited sari. So if they, which they wouldn't, but if they were to say, Krishna, where were you when we were time to? There's a list here. And teachings, Arjuna received transcendental knowledge of Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna. Srila Prabhupada was empowered with resilience and ability to cope with obstacles. So Krishna empowers as well. Krishna may use ways to protect us, and the time factor is a healer and helps us to grow. Time heals us, and we are allowed to grow. Whatever we survive, we are allowed to grow by learning from that. So the Lord can help us in either of these ways. Krishna can provide any method to protect us. We just have to be conscious of it. We have to understand that, not necessarily how we think He should help us or protect us. He has His own ways of protecting us. Sometimes you might not see that as a protection, but it's a protection. He is independent. This way we can never doubt divine intervention. We think that I did this, or by chance this happened. This is like, really, that's how things are. We always think that, it's me, the time I had spent, the knowledge I had acquired, etc., etc. I did this myself. Through my knowledge and strength, I managed to do this. Or my smartness, I did this. Or sometimes we think, it's just an off chance that this happened. Okay. Without this sanction, nothing can happen. That's the underlying factor. You have to, whether it's a chance or it's our intelligence and smartness that we used, until Krishna sanctions the result, it will not happen, because the result is only in Krishna's hand. Whichever instrument, whichever vehicle he uses, whether it's us or a chance, it's only because Krishna has sanctioned it. That's all. That's what we have to remember. So instead of saying, pointing out, who did this? Was it me? Was it some friend? Was it just a chance? We have a chance of probability of success. You have to know that whatever method was used is because Krishna allowed it to happen. Okay, so another one on the fortunate. Vipada santu tha shashvat tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yat sayad apunar bhav darshanam. vipta, calamities, santu, let there be. This is the key verse, taha, all, shashvat, again and again, tatra, there, tatra, and there, jagat guru, O Lord of the universe, bhavata, yo, darshana, meeting, yat, that which, sayat, is, apuna, not again, bhav, darshanam, seeing repetition of birth and death. And so Kunti Mata says, I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths. So this is a very powerful verse. Generally, the distressed, the needy, the intelligent, and the inquisitive, four kind of people who have performed some pious activities, worship or begin to worship the Lord. Others who are thriving on misdeeds only, regardless of status, cannot approach the Supreme due to being misled by the illusory energy. So even in those conditions, if you can remember the Lord, then you are fortunate. Therefore, a pious person, if there is some calamity, there is no other alternative than to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord means preparing for liberation from birth and death. Therefore, even though there are so-called calamities, they are welcome because they give us an opportunity to remember the Lord, which means liberation. One who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are accepted as the most suitable boat for crossing the ocean of innocence, can achieve liberation as easily as one leaps over the holes made by the hoofs of a calf. Such persons are meant to reside in the abode of the Lord, and they have nothing to do with a place where there is danger in every step. So this material world is certified by the Lord in the Bhagavad-Gita as a dangerous place full of calamities. So I like the certified, it's been stamped, place of danger, beware. Less intelligent persons prepare plans to adjust to those calamities without knowing that the nature of this place is itself full of calamities. It's one calamity after another. You solve one problem, another calamity is in the queue. It's not that, so that's it, no more calamities now. Calamity solved. The calamities, solving of calamity may bring another calamity through that side effect. They have no information of the abode of the Lord, which is full of bliss and without trace of calamity. The duty, and to be honest, it's very difficult for us to imagine. Sometimes I think about, how there is no time, there is no calamity, there is no material relationships. How does it work? It's beyond our intelligence to imagine, because we just in this illusionary state, we just don't have that knowledge available to us. How this works. Obviously, there's a system there, and it's always been there, but we just can't understand how that would work. The duty of the sane person, therefore, is to be undisturbed by worldly calamities, which are sure to happen in all circumstances. Suffering all sorts of unavoidable misfortunes. One should make progress in spiritual realization, because that is the mission of human life. The spiritual soul is transcendental to all material calamities. Therefore, the so-called calamities are called false. A man may see a tiger swallowing him in a dream, and he may cry for this calamity. Actually, there is no tiger and there is no suffering. It is simply a case of dreams. In the same way, all calamities of life are said to be dreams. If someone is lucky enough to get in contact with the Lord by devotional service, it is all gain. Contact with the Lord by any one of the 9 devotional services is always a forward step on the path going back to Godhead. Yeah, so we get our good dreams and we have nightmares. So it's just compared to that. Only thing is that these nightmares last only for in the sleep. They only last for a little while, and then sometimes you can wake yourself up. You sometimes in your dream that you're dreaming. You are. This is not really happening. I'm in a dream, and you do tend to wake yourself up out of it. Get out, right? So I guess similarly, although these nightmares can be longer than the sleep nightmare, but you can wake yourself up from that nightmare and try and understand the bigger picture of what's going on, and then things don't seem as bad as they did earlier on. Even they say, like, say you cut your finger and you think that was your nightmare, then there could be like something worse happens, and you'll forget about the problem with your finger, right? For 1 minute it seems like a very big deal, and then a bigger calamity happens. So it's all here, isn't it? It's all in the head, that how big you see that problem. We can see it as very big, or we can see it as mercy or reversal, teach us something like that, or karma, whichever you want to look at it. It won't seem so as big if you see it in a different light, if you see it in a transcendental way. So this is 25. So there are no challenges. It says the dangers are, Kunti Mata says that these dangers are a blessing to me. She says, bring these calamities, which are blessings, bring them on again and again, because I have the good fortune to see you. Now, if you leave, then there's no longer any challenges. It's better we keep having challenges so we can see you, Kunti. Would prefer challenges if that's what it takes to see the Lord. Whereas some people think, oh, so that's what you have to do. So they want to be like Kunti. They're inviting challenges and calamities, like general people. That so Kunti is teaching us that invite calamities. No, she's not teaching us to invite calamities. She's teaching us that it's very important to always think of the Lord, because we should not ask for challenges, because they come anyway without invitation, as we discussed earlier. Challenges are always there. Calamities, the world of calamities. So no need to invite them. They're always there. They will come when it's time. The calamities do come, but main thing is to always remember Krishna at the time of calamities. And thing is, don't ask for calamities, because we might not have the capacity to deal with them. Like Bilvamangal Thakur, he poked out his eyes because he thought that was the best for him to become close to Krishna, because his eyes were wandering, his eyes were lusty after women. And he realized his weakness, that it's these eyes that let me down, and I cannot. He was looking for Krishna, but his eyes were obstacles, so he pieced them out. But that's not recommended, because there was Bilvamangal Thakur, and he had the capacity to deal with something like that. So it's not recommended that we follow the essence of what they're doing, not exactly. So like Lord Shiva swallowed poison, nobody's saying that we should swallow poison or poke at your eyes, or like Kunti Mata ask for calamities. We don't do this. This is extreme. We don't do that. And these are like special people. And the main essence is that, try to become close to Krishna. Try to always think of Krishna. And you can always think of Krishna when you sincerely do your devotion service, sincerely chant, then that is the recommendation for us to serve with loving, serving mood, with like mood of a servant, and chant nicely and do services nicely, and then you will feel the closeness to Krishna. So we can do just one more. Janma Ishvara Shrut Shrivir Edaman Mad Puman Nevrati Abhidatum Vai Tvam Akinchan Gocharam. So Janam, birth, Aishwarya, opulence, Shruta, education, Shribhihi, by the possession of beauty, Edaman, progressively increasing, Mad, intoxication, Puman, the human being, Na, never, Eva, ever, Arati deserves Abhidatum, to address in feeling, why certainly Tvam, you, Akinchan Gocharam, is one who is approached easily by the material exhausted man. So you have to be, if you can be materially exhausted, then it makes, the more exhausted we are, the easier it becomes for us as well. And Krishna, anyone can approach him. You just have to let go. My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached but not only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. So, being materially advanced means taking birth in an aristocratic family and possessing great wealth and education and attractive personal beauty. So these can be obstacles. All materialistic men are mad after possessing all these material opulences. And this is known as the advancement of material civilization. But the result is that by possessing all these material assets, one becomes artificially puffed up, intoxicated by such temporary possessions. Consequently, such materially puffed up persons are incapable of uttering the holy name of the Lord by addressing him feelingly. O Govinda, O Krishna, it is said in the Shastras that by once uttering the holy name of the Lord, the sinner gets rid of a quantity of sins that he is unable to commit. Such is the power of uttering the holy name of the Lord. There is not the least exaggeration in this statement. Actually, the Lord's holy name has such powerful potency, but there is a quality to such utterances also. It depends on the quality of feeling. Helpless man can feelingly utter the holy name of the Lord, whereas a man who utters the same holy name in general material satisfaction cannot be so sincere. A materially puffed up person may utter the holy name of the Lord occasionally, but he is incapable of uttering the name in quality. Therefore, the four principles of material advancement, namely high parentage, good wealth, high education, attractive beauty, are, so to speak, disqualifications for progress on the path of spiritual advancement. The material covering of the pure spirit soul is an external feature, as much as fever is an external feature of the unhealthy body. The general process is to decrease the degree of the fever and not to aggravate it by more maltreatment. Sometimes it is seen that spiritually advanced persons become materially impoverished. There is no discouragement. On the other hand, such impoverishment is a good sign as much as the falling of temperature is a good sign. The principle of life should be to decrease the degree of material intoxication, which leads one to be more and more illusion about aim of life. Grossly illusioned persons are quite unfit for entrance into the kingdom of God. So opulences are compared to a fever. Now, you see, there are devotees who are very well off as well. It's just that if that opulence is making you unhealthy, then the fever needs to come down. And Krishna is the original doctor. He knows, what we are infected by, and to get rid of the infection, he will get rid of the infection basically. So the fever can go down, because it's infection that causes the fever. But other people may be immune to that kind of infection. They might have all these things, but they don't get infected by it. So then there's no need to take away that, because it's not really infection. It's there, but it's not affecting them. So some people are well off and they're still devotees, because they're not letting those opulences come in the way of their advancement. In fact, yukta viragya, you can use those things in the service of Krishna. So what better? There has to be somebody, because so many things are needed. Srila Prabhupada was, given the best by his devotees, even traveled in Rolls Royces. The devotees were using these opulences in the service of the spiritual master, and the service of the Lord. So nothing wrong with these things. It's only if they are an obstacle in your life of spiritual life. So materially exhausted does not mean being poor. It means those who are intoxicated by material progress. They cannot call out the names of Krishna with feelings. And feelings, emotions are very, very, very important. Everything is, seems very mundane, you could say, futile. Trivial, good word. Everything seems very trivial if there are no emotions. And we see that in material life as well. They used to have these wrestling matches in WWF like that, and they used to try and get feelings, to make it exciting. The fighters will curse each other and threaten each other, just to create that feelings, emotions in us as well. Then we know who we support, and feelings come with us. Now go and get him. So the emotional factor in every situation is important. In boxing, they're like threatening each other before the fight, or like that, that I'm going to, sort you out. So the feeling factor comes in. Wimbledon was going on over the weekend. How much emotions were flying by the players, by the team members, by the public, right? There were so many emotions flying. Just seeing two people hitting a ball over the net, back and forth, meaningless. You get bored after a bit, but because there was emotions involved in there. There was emotions to win and emotions to support these people. That's what makes it exciting. That makes it, that's what gives it substance. Same with bhakti. We are doing everything mechanically. So Krishna says that there must be feelings in your bhakti. When you're chanting, it should come with emotions, come with feelings. When we are doing service, we must come with emotions. If there's no emotions, then it's like the other one says, it's trivial. We're just doing a mechanical task. It really doesn't have that much meaning to it.
Might as well not do it. Might as well not do it.
No, you can still do it because it has some benefit, but if you want to really advance, then you have to find those emotions. And we find the emotions. This is what we're doing now. We're learning about Krishna, so we can learn about him and get attached to him emotionally. So thank you so much. I'm going to leave it here. I'd like to hear from yourselves. Hari Hari Bol and Kundikaksh Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotee. Yeah, I mean, as you said, Prabhuji, when trouble comes, we can go either way. Either we can completely leave the spirituality, thinking that I'm not getting any results, so why should I actually do this? Or if at all you understand the Lord has already been given so many things to us freely. Like I was talking to a taxi driver 2 days before, and he was saying, I mean, he was following Jesus Christ, but he said, the air we receive, light we receive, so many things we receive freely, but we don't pay gratitude to the Lord. So if at all once, by any chance, if you understand that he is receiving already so much of mercy from the Lord, even without being without asking, and if he goes to the scriptures, then he will realize that it is the important thing is to see the hand of Lord in every situation of us, whether it is a good situation or a bad situation. But certainly, our scriptures explain very clearly that bad situation is because of what we have done in our previous life, and there is no other way other than facing the consequences of it. But if you are in spiritual path, at least even the path is difficult, but at least you will reach the goal. But if you are scared of all these difficulties, then you will end up reaching a point where you get stuck into this material world again and again. And I heard like Prabhupada once said that it is not that you are coming to hospital now. You are already deceased, that's why you are coming to hospital. So we are in the material world because you're already deceased. Not that we are to address the diseases which are coming in this world now, but the root cause, understand the root cause of coming into this world and address that one first. And Mother Kunti Devi is also a devotee, great devotee, and Devaki Ma is also a great devotee and having a eternal relationship with the Lord. But Prabhupada mentioned very nicely that a devotee who is in greatest danger will have attention of the Lord more quicker, because he want to make sure that everybody is protected. So Mother Devaki has her husband still. So that's why Prabhupada mentioned that the sons were not protected like previous daughters or sons who are born. Whereas in Kunti Devi's case, Panduraj left her in a very early age. So a woman needs to be protected by father, by husband, and by the sons. So Krishna makes sure that she is protected under her son's protection. Um, and like only in difficult situations only we'll be able to remember the Lord. Seriously, like Arjuna was defeated by ordinary man when he went to at the end he went to um, meet Yadavas, and while coming back he was defeated by ordinary man itself. Then actually that gave him a time to realize that how Krishna was actually protecting him, not in the during the war time, but even from beginning also. Even though he has not seen Krishna face to face in the childhood, but he could realize that actually I was doing all these things only because Krishna's mercy was there from that time itself. So I had read somewhere in Bhagavatam that he could realize that whatever activities he was doing, even the childhood, he thought it's all because of Krishna's mercy only. So definitely only difficult situation allow us to actually realize the hand of God in everything of our life. That's all, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah, so many points come out. I mean, maybe this is my own speculation that Arjun still thought that he was a great warrior, which he, to us he was. But to go back home, Krishna wants to purify the Pandavas. He wants to purify us, so we can go back home purified. Otherwise, what's the point going back if if you haven't been rehabilitated?
Mm.
What's the point of going back? You must be your mind should be all cleaned,
Yeah.
Or problem, like you said, we came here because, we need rehab, we need to be in hospital. Yeah, so maybe Arjun needs to realize that he was not in control, and so Krishna set up this incident just to show him, look, if you have any tinge of doubt that I'm doing everything, then here's the evidence. You can see, that you cannot do anything without my sanction and without my support. So yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah, and and as you said, that Krishna protects the vulnerable, and he also protects the simple like us. We're not that politically motivated and not power hungry, or we're not that tactful. Krishna protects his simple devotees as well, who don't have that capacity to to maneuver politically. Krishna protects them. So I'm saying as well. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Kiran Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. These few verses illustrate the dimension of fortune, and not the fortune that De Beers dig up in terms of gold and all these industrialists dig up in terms of rare metals, gemstones. Kunti is showing us that digging deep in the heart is more important than the opulence that is dug up by the rare minerals. And Kunti gives us that example of how even in the face of adversity, that there is great learning. And I have a saying that adversity either makes you or breaks you. And I've seen many people who have risen out of the depths of suffering, misery, disabilities, oppression, you name it, at the bottom of the human food chain. But their tenacity, their eagerness to continue and survive is what keeps them going. And Kunti is an example of that. She could see that time and time and time again, her sons, her family were being dishonored, disrespected, and completely ostracized. And so these are learnings for us, that adversity, you either rise from it or you sink. But she chose to rise from it. And time is a great healer. These situations occur and we think that is the end of my existence. I used to have to go onto the wards to discharge children who had tried to commit suicide on a daily basis. And because they had no hope. But Krishna gives us hope. It may be floods and famine today, but there'll be feast tomorrow. If we give up on our misery and our difficulties and our minor discomforts today, that's fine, because there's a greater rainbow that awaits us at the end of this experience. And time is a fantastic healer, and time is the essence of God. Time is God, because God gives us. We've been here for time immemorial. and we're going to be here forever, right? Until we embrace him at a different plane. And that's why Kunti says, bring it on again and again and again, because then I can remember you, then I can serve you. If there is no calamities and difficulties, then how can we remember divinity? Those who can remember divinity, even in the face of having the greatest opulence, are of course fortunate. But then to use that opulence for the service of the divine, use a fraction of what you have earned, achieved for the divine, Krishna at the center. These are blessings. And these dangers that come, these are blessings, because they make us aware that to walk this path, you have to be a true meditator and to be aware that things can be around any corner. And if you are uttering the Mahamantra at all times, who knows? That could be your kavach, that could be your shield. And we always ask, Krishna, give me this, Krishna, give me that. And I've always said, don't ask Krishna for anything, because he knows what you need. And ultimately, sometimes don't wish for what you can't deal with. Because sometimes you could get the most biggest multinational, which you may not be able to cope with the pressures that go with it. And so engage in this world with a level of raw and reverence, with a level of reverence and awe, because we just have to be mindful that if we remove that covering of Maya, greed, lust, and envy, then all will be well. And we will continue to progress quite positively with grace. And yes, you did say something about, people were so hyped up on the tennis. And I must admit, I'm a cricket fan, and so I was more hyped up in the cricket than the tennis. And so I was more concerned about what's happening on the cricket field than what's happening on the stage. And that just goes to show where our passion is. But then we have to put the passion for a bigger purpose. And I learned a great lesson yesterday. It matters not whether a team wins or not. It's out of your hands. Because ultimately, he's the divine controller, right? But what it is doing is generating that passion in your life and use that passion in the service of the divine. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's all about, it shows that we always say that use the three modes in the service of the Lord. Thank you. All right.
Hare Krishna. Pranams to all of you. Yes, Bhagavatam is telling us through each verse that Krishna is the most approachable as a Krishna incarnation when he comes to this world. And how fortunate we can say that not too many millenniums ago, not too many yugas ago he came. The yuga previous to us, Krishna came. And then he came as a Gauranga, not even 600, 500 plus years ago. So Kunti is describing how fortunate she is in all these verses, and how Krishna has saved her family again and again, and now again from Ashwatthama they have been saved. Kunti even goes on to feel and even express that Devaki is less fortunate than her and her family because they've had more association of Krishna. Krishna has been around them. And these verses, especially verse 25 and 26, this Vipada Santu Te Taha Shashvat. So Lord had certified this in chapter 8 of Bhagavad-Gita. This is Dukhalayam Ashashvatam, and now in Canto 1, chapter 8, Lord again, certifies through Srila Prabhupada in his purport, and in this verse, in Kunti's prayers, that don't try to, fight with the calamities or fight with the what was happening around us and within us, but try to take everything which is happening in or around us to our advantage. It can be done. It's only when you think that yourself to be a victim or you are the one who is the target. But when you look around, you see like there's always hundreds, thousands, millions more disadvantaged than you. I think that brings us equanimity in our thinking when we are lost. There is no dearth if we look around us in the case of misfortune or the fortune around us. But if we have understood what is our real goal, then all this doesn't matter. We are only a little chapter among the massive volumes of lives of we've had again and again, and still we are not satisfied. So we just need to bring the purity of our souls back. Our souls know everything. Our souls are well versed in Vedas, in all sorts of verses, everything. It's just we have to cleanse them and you don't need any material cleanser. You just need spiritual cleansing, which is through the Mahamantra only. So yes, we have to aspire for simple living and high thinking. Only by simple living we can, like the verse says, we have to be akinchana agocharam. We have to be materially exhausted, because we can't travel in the ocean of this world by putting our feet into two different boats or ships. Unless we're traveling in one ship, it has to be the spiritual ship. That is only going to take us or if we are still hankering, so it's better to do bhakti and fulfill your material aspirations as well. But the easiest way I've seen is to be spiritually focused. Everything else will fall into your lap. You don't even have to think about it. Lord is going to make sure, because Lord is always looking for his A-star children, and definitely the Vaishnavas, the devotees, are his A-star students. So yeah, if we dream if in one of our dreams we have this feeling that I'm being swallowed by the tiger, like in real life people think that I'm being swallowed by the calamity of this or that. So if this is going to be our mindset, we are not going to reach too far in our bhakti in this life. So yeah, so we better give impetus to our bhakti by having right thoughts, right mindset, right association, and of course, like the purport in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that we have to say the names of the God with bhava. This is all Lord wants, and we know in the processes from bhava. Once we read the bhava from Shraddha to bhav, then only we'll get the praying. So I wish you all a very blessed week ahead, Krishna conscious week ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you all so much. Prabhupada said, just remember that nothing belongs to us, everything belongs to Krishna. And whatever we're doing, we want to use in service of Krishna, and that way we can remain materially impoverished, because we have to break, stay unattached to all these things, especially if they become obstacles in our life. Thank you so much. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.